Saving Noah was a really hard read, and I'll explain to you why. So picture this. We are basically the perfect little family, okay? They have a son and a daughter, and the son is like this basically superstar at this point. Like, he's a good swimmer and he's on to great things. He does great in school. Like, he's like the perfect child, right? Like, you got bragging rights with him. You did something right, okay? They live in this neighborhood where it's all like keep up with the Joneses type thing. Like, I feel like this type of neighborhood would be the type where basically you just fake it till you make it. Like, I feel like nobody would actually be friends because, I mean, honestly, that's kind of what happened in this book, but I don't blame it. So, superstar son. Then you find out that your son is a PDF. Like, what are you doing? So he goes to get help. His mom is like all about it. Dad, on the other hand, is like, hell no, I want nothing to do with him. And they obviously have to move. Like, everybody knows now what happens. They don't want anything to do with that family. And when I tell you that the end of the book, I thought that there was something that was up with the father. I'm like, something just ain't making sense. Because, like, the father didn't want anything to do with the son. Which I'm just saying, like, me personally, I wouldn't want anything to do with the son either. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. That's my feelings. I have strong feelings on PDFs. I don't give a shit who the hell you are, right? But then, the end of the book, it turns out, so like the son wants the mom to help him off himself, so she does. And at the end of the book, you find out that the father is one too. Like, how did we end here? How did we end with this book? I feel like there should be more to this. And also, how come nothing happened to the father? The mother is who I feel so bad for because, like, the mother has no idea about her husband. So that's how I felt about this book. If you've read this book, let me know, like, your thoughts about it. But also, if you haven't read this book and you choose to read this book, I still need to know your thoughts about it. And I know that I did, like, ruin this book for you guys, but I'm just saying you're welcome. So that's that. I was confused at first. Okay, so, here's what happens. Guy's on death row because he's a serial killer. He was trained to be an assassin by his father. Like, this book is pretty long. I'm not going to ruin it all for you, but I'll give you kind of the gist of it. So he was trained by his father in a school for, like, assassins, and they take them in young. So he went in there, like, 10 years old. He's a trained assassin. Anyways, he offs his stepmother and his two brothers, but there's one that's still alive. And he's in prison. This girl reaches out to him, and they end up falling in love. She makes, like, a whole fucking podcast, and she's, like, a social media person, like, holy shit. Well, anyways, he's set to be executed. She's supposed to marry him. She doesn't show up to marry him. And he's now executed. She's like, what the fuck? And so now his ghost is coming around. So she thinks it's a damn ghost. And he's like, nobody can have you. You're all mine. Why did you betray me? Use me for clout. Like, all this fucking scary shit. And keep in mind, she don't have her damn memory. Like, she doesn't remember shit, like, from 0 to 10 years old, okay? And so she's trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? She has no memory of that. Her mom lies to her, tells her, like, it was a car crash or some shit. She didn't have her seatbelt on and got ejected through the windshield. But, like, she knows that that's probably a lie. So, like, she's trying to figure all this shit out. Well, I'm just saying, homeboy over here, that's a damn ghost haunting her, and she also has hallucinations, and she's also offed two people. Like, it turns out he ain't a ghost. He literally escaped his execution. And who got executed instead of him? Honestly, brilliant. It was brilliant. But I'm not going to tell you what else happens in the book because y'all fucking yell at me that I ruin it. So I need you to read this book. Thank you so much. This book, when I tell you guys that women are actually the investigators and we can get down to the bottom of it, we will figure out who, what, where, when, why. It doesn't matter. A mother has a daughter. 8 years ago, her daughter was murdered. Okay? The guy who did it was in prison. Well, guess what? 8 years later, he is on his deathbed and confesses that he did not murder their daughter. He confessed to the ones that he actually did. He's like, I'm not going to take credit for shit that's not my work. Like, that's how fucked up in the mind he was. So her and her ex-husband, they go to reopen the case, and when I tell you shit is weird, the plot twist on this one, I wasn't ready for it. Like, most of the time I'm like, okay, I know who it was. Like, you kind of can work your way up to that. And then you think it's one person, but it's not that person. Like, I was surprised. I was surprised on this one. I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but I'm letting you know they do figure out who actually murdered her daughter. And I don't know if you guys are ready for it, because the shit in this book was weird as fuck. Okay, read this book and then let me know what you think about it. This one gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I'll tell you why. I am so afraid of drowning. I can't even stand it. Like, I will have nightmares about this shit. This book is about a mother who was driving home from her son's, I think it was a basketball game, and she also had his friend with him, which they weren't really friends, but like kind of, but not really. And a deer had ran out in front of her car, and so she ended up slamming on her brakes. She slid on black ice into a lake, which was obviously freezing cold, and she ends up saving the friend instead of her son. But she thought it was her son. And so when they came up to the water, she realized that it was the friend, and she was like, what the fuck? And so she went back down to go get her son. And the next thing you know, she had blacked out, and she woke up in the hospital not knowing what happened, was asking about her son, found out that he didn't make it. And she literally like had kind of went off the deep end a little bit. And because the friend had saved her, like, she had heard the story about how he gave her CPR. He had broke one of her ribs while performing CPR on her to bring her back to life. Well, they created like this fucking bond because of the traumatic event, that she like wouldn't stay away from him. Okay. And he's a teenager, and she's 49, I think, or 41 or something like that. And he was like 15, I think, or something. And so she wouldn't stay away from him, and the shit became like weird. To where his mom took out like a protection order against her, like, stay the hell away. She ended up being in a mental institute herself because she literally like could not deal with her son passing away. And then their son, the one that survived, he goes missing, and his mother thinks that she has something to do with it. So I need you guys to read this book and let me know what you think about it. There's 2 kids that were adopted. One of them was named Kai, and he didn't speak. Okay. He refused to talk. So he signed. And Olivia, she was like this little girl. They were only a year apart. Okay. So they're in like this wealthy known family, and her mom is a judge. Her dad is a lawyer, and he knew right from the beginning that he was in love with her. So let me just tell you something. So as the years go by, they get closer and closer and closer, and he signs to her and all this other bullshit, but he's out of control, kid. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Anybody that wants to be around here, he'll beat the shit out of them. He doesn't care. Well, anyways, her mom is so fucked up that her mom is like, too bad, so sad. Like, you're going to get married to somebody who's wealthy because that's just what we do in our family. And she's like, oh my God, what the fuck? Well, anyways, Kai goes and tries to kill the father, and then he fucks his sister over the body. His sister Olivia, she rats him out, testifies against him. He goes to prison for 8 fucking years, I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was 8 years or 7 years. I think it was 8. And she doesn't speak to him. Well, don't worry. Nay. He gets out. His dad lived. He gets out, and he finds her and has this whole plan, because now he's going to hold her captive. Like, he's after revenge, but he's in love with her, and too bad, so sad. So now he talks a little bit, gets her at a Halloween party, brings her home, and he's like, too bad, so sad kind of thing. She realizes it's him, and she's like, but you need to leave me alone. Long story short, he goes to therapy, gets on all this medication bullshit. She's supposed to be getting married, and she's like, no, please, I want to be with Kai. And so her dad agrees to it, and then that's pretty much how it ends. I don't know. The shit, I didn't love it. It was weird to me. I don't want to read. I don't care that they're adopted and they're not blood related. The shit is weird to me. It's one of my icks, as I said in another one of my videos. So I don't know. I'm a little biased because I just, whatever. And you know what? Here's the thing is I never know what the hell I'm getting into because I just read books. So there's that. So they break out of jail or prison. They break out of this prison. Now they're on the damn run, okay? They're on the run to another place because they're trying to get help because essentially they're going to run out of food. Okay, that's what it all boils down to. Like, they're going to run out of food because the government is literally making it that way. So they are trying to tell, like, another area, I guess, which is over in Las Vegas about this. And, like, on the trip, they end up getting captured by, like, another location. Okay, so they get captured and they're like, hey, by the way, so they're telling them all the shit that's going on, and they're just like, well, we need to be trained on how to fight because these other people are trying to overtake us, and they're just trying to be like cool, calm, collected, namaste, here we go. And so they make a deal. They make it over to Las Vegas, and they're telling them over there, like, listen, this is what's going on. The government is corrupt. Yes, you can go above ground without radiation suits, and also everybody's going to run out of food, and this is what's happening, but we want to break out everybody else out of prison, and we need your help. So they're like, okay, we will help you, but first, you two, which are the main characters, so Kalani and the prison captain, they're like, you guys have to go into this other prison, and you guys need to bring back, basically it's like one of their friends, so they need to now like get them like broken out of prison from there, right? So they agree, they go into this other prison. Little do they know this prison is way worse. And every day this is what happens. Every day there's this doctor, and so they have to go all out into this room, and there's this doctor, and the doctor picks one person, they're all lined up, picks one person, and they go into like this room that's all blacked out. Nobody knows what happens, but all they know is nobody comes back out. Well, they realize that they're putting these chips like in their brain. So they're putting a chip in their brain to make them do what so essentially you're working like a robot because now they have control of you. And Kalani had got called into the damn room. Well, here comes the people to break them out of prison. And homeboy over here, Captain, he gets her out of there. But like these robots that were in all these like capsules, they're like coming after them and all that. I mean, the shit is fucking wild. And I'm going to say this, the book did end on a cliffhanger. And I was not happy about that because the third book isn't coming out until I think it's September 2026. So I need you guys to read both of the books. I need you to come back here. I need you to comment. And I need you to let me know what you thought about it. Because so far for me, this is the closest that I have came to of Prison Break meets like Orange is the New Black met with like dark romance. And I mean, like, mafia, too. So, let me know. Okay, goodbye. Remember when I said that I wanted a book that was like Orange is the New Black mixed with Prison Break? This one was pretty close for me anyway. And what happens is where they live, they all live underground because the whole like land up above was nuked apparently. There's radiation. Nobody can go above ground. And she gets sentenced to prison for stealing a book, which she was really holding for somebody. Her parents, they were murdered. I mean, this whole thing is like vicious, okay? It's all about power, corruption. You do what they say, and that's it. Like, they want you to basically be robots. That's it. So they eat slop. She has never seen the light of day. And she's like, oh my God, we're just going to die down here. Well, she finds out that, in fact, you do not need radiation suits up above. So, like, the whole government is, like, just hiding all this shit from them. And they're, like, pretty much wanting them, like, to turn into their slaves, you know? And so she comes up with this plan because she's like, I'm going to end up dying down here. So is everybody else because they're ruthless. And it's wild behavior. Like, I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But I will say that her and the guard, like, they have a thing going on. He teaches her how to fight, and then they come up with a plan to try to escape. So I need you guys to read this book, and I need you guys to let me know if you loved it as much as I do. There is a book, too, which I will do a review on that as well. When I tell you the violence in this book, I felt like I was a professional fighter, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, I was basically a professional fighter myself, and I'm like, I totally would make it out of here, but really, like, I probably wouldn't. So read the book and then let me know what you think about it. This book was fucked up. So there's two twin sisters. There are twin sisters that live in this fucked up family with their grandfather. Their grandfather, he has connections. You guys know how this goes. So her grandfather makes her kill her sister. And he was like, this is punishment, too bad, so sad. Well, she escapes from there, and she has this whole plan because basically she wants to kill him. So she has this whole plan, and she's trying to save people because he's a serial killer. So she's trying to save people that are on his radar. Like, he's going after people that are close with her, friends with her, because he's like, too bad, I'm going to make your life hell. And so she's trying to save them, but also she wants to, like, kill him as well. So she knows who the lead investigator is on the case. And so she gets with him, but what happens is she ends up falling in love with him, and she's not telling him, like, you know what I mean? Like, he keeps her into witness protection because she witnessed a murder, even though she was trying to save her roommate. But, anyway, so she was, she becomes in love with him, but she still has her plan that she has to go through, and she's like, oh my God. Well, he ends up she kills the grandfather, which, by the way, was her father, and he takes the blame for it, but yet his superior was like, yeah, he did it in self-defense. And so he asked the superior, he's like, why did you, say that and basically lie and vouch for me? And turns out his superior was in love with her mother, but the grandfather, which was her father, is the one that knocked up his daughter to have the girl. Like, the whole thing is, it's weird. The whole thing is weird. It was a good book, though. I'm not going to lie. I read it in one sitting, so it's a good book if you guys want to read it. If you have read it, let me know in the comments below what you thought about it. I'm not going to lie. This book, to me, is not really my cup of tea. Just because I don't know. Just reading about somebody being groomed is just fucking weird to me and disgusting. But I'll tell you what this book is about because I read it. So there's this girl, she's 7 years old, her and her mom. They move in with this guy who is like he's like a head of like a biker club. And he also has a son. Well, the son is like right off the bat in love with the girl. Okay, the little girl. And so he's basically grooming the little girl. They are 6 years apart, I believe. So he's basically grooming her because he's just in love with her and that's it. And he does like the dirty business for the club. Like, he's the one that, does all the punishment and all that shit, right? The boy does. And so he grows up because he was, let's see, if she was 7, I think he was 13 at the time. But the shit was like weird. It was hard to read. I'm not going to lie. So I don't know. I think I'm a little bit biased on this and not fair just because I actually don't like reading. It just creeps me out. Like, the shit just creeps me out. If you read this book, let me know what you thought about it. Me personally, I whatever. So anyways, the mom and him, they didn't get along. The mom knew what he was doing. The way that this book ended, if you don't want me to ruin it for you, then just click off this video. But the way that it ended is 4 guys came into their house. They literally killed her mom. And then she was like, so the daughter was like a dancer. Like, she wanted to be a dancer. And they busted her leg and she was in the hospital. So there's that. Okay. Roman and Isabella, they're 2 foster kids, okay? And they both live with shitty foster parents. And Roman, he's been to like 27 billion different schools. Anyways, they're at school one day. They're younger. He sees her sitting there and she has like a Mickey Mouse thing, like a plush. And she shared his food with him and he was like, what the fuck? So he kind of like swore that he would always take care of her because they were both starving. And like I said, their foster parents were pieces of shit. So they become best friends and basically in love with each other, and they're never going to leave each other, blah, 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 blah. Well, he was always getting into trouble because he would protect her and just like beat the fuck out of anybody. Like, he did not give a shit. So one day, it was her damn birthday, and he was older than her, but it was her birthday. I think she just turned 17. And he was basically like, I can't wait until, we basically have one more year. You know what I mean? So he drops her off at home and he ends up going to beat the shit out of these twins that were bullying her. Well, Guess what? He gets caught, so he gets sent to prison for 3 years. He wrote her every day. He tried calling her, couldn't get a hold of her. He gets out after 3 years, and he's like, fuck this shit. He knows that her foster dad and her brother, not real brother, but you know what I mean, like the brother, were abusing her and all this other shit, right? So he shows up there and he's like, too bad, so sad. Guess what? Offs them, okay? Because he's like, hell no. And then she's mad at him because she's like, where the hell have you been for 3 years? Like, what do you mean? And so then he finds out that her brother took all the letters and never gave them to her. So she had no idea. So now he's like, too bad, so sad, you're coming with me. He had a whole house, whatever. Then these other guys, they come looking for them because he would do like, he would fight for money, okay? So he would do fights for money or whatever, and well, he pissed a lot of people off, and needless to say, so they were running from them, and then he's like, wait, I just need to do a couple more fights. That way they can have money because now they're on the run and they're getting new identities and all this other shit. And so he does those, he wins the fights, and then they basically go on the run. So I guess they just lived happily ever after that. There you go. This book I wasn't ready for. This book, oh my God, this woman, okay, so she's, get it together. Okay, she's married to this guy, right? And they're trying to have kids, but like she can't get pregnant. And then the doctor's like, oh, well, you just need to quit your job and you just need to do this, that, and the third, right? So then the husband talks her into moving back to his hometown, which is basically like a little island that's sketch, okay? We'll just say that it's sketch as hell, where they literally sacrifice women. So that way they're like, oh, if you come to this island kind of thing, then you're guaranteed to get pregnant because of the god or whatever the hell they call him. I mean, in my mind, it's fucking demon, okay? So she's like, everybody has the same color eyes, the same color hair. The kids that go to school, like the shit is weird that the teachers are teaching them. Nobody's talking. There's this other woman. She's like a social media influencer. And she's like, oh, my life is so perfect. Takes a picture, like weird shit. And so she's like trying to figure out what the hell is going on. So then she figures out that like her husband is in some weird fucking shit, and his mom is basically like, if you don't have a kid, then I'm not gonna let you have any of my fortune kind of thing. And she's like, what the fuck? And like nobody is believing her. And then they like go and then they try to kill her too. Of course she didn't die, but I'm just saying, like, you're reading about taking an axe and literally putting it in some guy's skull? What do you mean? I don't know. This book was, for me, it was not for me because the whole sacrificing thing is a little not my cup of tea. But if you've read this book, then let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Here's the thing. It's been 10 years. And this girl is trying to find out what happened to her best friend, okay? 10 years goes down the road. Her best friend, they're in a family where they're well connected, they have money, whatever. So she has this whole plan to figure out what actually happened to her, right? And so she befriends the younger sister, right? So she befriends her. She has this whole plan, literally uses the younger sister to find out what the hell happened. And like, as you go through the fucking book, you're like, Jesus, what is going on here? Her whole family is like fucked up, but she doesn't care. Right? And then the dad, so like she gets set up to like, he had, what did he have? Like an almond allergy? He had some kind of an allergy. And she gets set up to give him some alcohol that has whatever it was. It's some kind of allergy, right? And she's like, I didn't know that, but whatever. But like he knew that she could be trusted kind of thing. And he didn't even know what happened to his daughter, but he had got a note that was like, babe, see you later. I'm over this fucking life kind of thing. And oh my God. Then it unravels about what actually happened to her friend. And I was like, of course that's what happened. So I need you guys to read this book. I didn't rate it too high. I think I gave it like maybe 2 stars, 2.5 stars, something like that. But it was all right. Here's the thing. This girl in the book, she doesn't realize that she's going to inherit a shit ton of money. And I'm talking like not only money, but like you're in charge of like the routes. You're in charge of other mafia shit. Like she has no idea. Okay, here's what she knows. Her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend was a piece of shit. And she was running from him. He basically sold her because there's this guy that's trying to get a hold of her. Okay, this mafia guy is trying to get a hold of her because the only way that he can have control of that power is if he marries her. But he has to marry her at her grandfather's house, okay? And her grandfather's dead, so that's why she's inheriting all this shit. But she's been on the run. This mafia dude, she works at a bar. This mafia dude's been like, do. He's like, you know, can we go out on a date? Can we go on a date? Blah, 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 blah. And so finally she does. Well, then there's this other guy that's sent in. He's an assassin, okay? And he wants mafia dude dead. So he's an assassin. Well, guess what? He gets to homegirl in a library doing the you know what that you shouldn't be doing in a library on the ladder, okay? And so she's like in love with him. Well, then they're like, too bad, so sad, so captures her. And he was captured, but then gets away. The whole thing was pretty fucked up. I did like this book. I did. If you read this book, then let me know if you like this book. I hope I didn't ruin it too much, but if I did, oh well. Do I love a good prison story? Yes, I do. Like, if I could find a book that was like Prison Break mixed with Orange is the New Black, mixed with smut, mixed with dark romance, like, I need that. But let's proceed on with Craving Venom. Now, if you are scared of snakes like I am, I'm definitely scared of snakes, okay? This book, this psychopath, okay, who's in prison, killed his family, he's in prison, and this girl who's in school and she's like studying to be like a, I don't know, psychologist, I don't know, she wants to know, you know, about criminal in their minds and all that shit, right? She reaches out and she writes to him because she wants to figure him out kind of thing. Well, don't worry. He becomes obsessed with her. And he can break out of damn prison whenever the hell he wants, okay? Stalks her whole damn life. And at one point, because she was not on her best behavior, he fucking fills her room with goddamn snakes, okay? Snakes! And I was like, woohoo! EBGBs for me, okay? I need you guys to read this book, and I need you to let me know what you thought about it, because listen, I read this from, and also, it is a cliffhanger, and there were so many warnings that it was a cliffhanger, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And I read it anyway. I did. I read it anyway, and now I'm like, when's the next book coming out? And I don't know. I can't tell you. I have no idea. Here's the thing. Am I going to be biased in this book? Yes, I am. And I'll tell you why. Because they talked about celiac disease. Hello. Right here, I have it. Yes, I do. So clearly 5-star for me right off the bat. But if you want to know the real story, this is what happens. So this guy, he gets killed, okay? But like with this knife that the guy's like, whenever he killed him, he's like, nay, you're going to rot in hell for all eternity. So the guy literally goes to the pits of hell. He's now a demon, okay? Then there's this girl, and she is trying to figure out, well, okay, no, she's not trying to figure out. She's trying to basically communicate with her sister, okay? Because her sister's dead as well, and her sister was like a witch, and her sister had celiac disease and all this other shit, right? So she goes to summon her sister, and because she finds like this book, and she's like trying to figure out whatever. So she like makes this whole thing, and trying to summons her. Well, guess what? She summons the demon, okay? So here comes the demon, right up from the pits of hell. And guess what? Officer. So now she's a damn ghost, and they're stuck in her old fucking mansion house, okay? Because both of her parents are in prison because just not good people. So they're stuck in her damn house, and she's trying to figure out, like, what the fuck? How the hell do I get out of here? And I don't want to ruin the whole thing for you guys, but I'm just letting you know that you need to read this damn book, okay? Because this book, I read it in one day, so I need you guys to do it, and then I need you guys to tell me what you thought about this book, because it was good. It was good. So now that we know that Xaden is a Venom, they're trying to find, well, when I say they, Violet, she's trying to find a cure, okay, for Xaden, and so he's not a Venom. He's trying to hold it at bay, right? Like, oh my God. And so then they're in love, whatever, all this shit. And then they're now on the hunt for the 7th dragon, right? The 7th like species of dragon or whatever, which is her little dragon. They're trying to find the family. Like they're trying to find that dragon's family. So they're traveling all around, and then they find the damn family, and then they're basically like, fuck you, you're not a good person. They realize that Xaden is a Venom, okay? Nobody knows that Xaden is a Venom except for like a couple of people. So they're like trying to keep that hidden type of thing, right? So then the dragon's family was like, fuck you, you're not good enough to be here, blah, 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 blah. But they need another damn dragon because they need to light their fucking crystal thing or whatever that they have over at Xaden's fucking place, right? Because the Venom are taking over. So here they are. They're all fighting the damn Venom over at Xaden's place, right? We got people dying left and right, up, down, all around. Dragons flying around. The Venom have their own damn dragons, okay? Of course, Violet, she's like the strongest one because she has like the power of lightning. But then the Venom that's after her, she's the power of the storm. But the whole time they thought that she was like power of lightning too, but no, she's the power of storm, which she finds out later on whenever she's like, going after her because bitch wants Violet. And so she's like stalking her and all this other bullshit, right? So now they're on one-on-one, okay? Violet and the bitch, and then Xaden, he's not supposed to be taking powers from the earth because then that makes him more of a Venom and then it'll just like consume him. You know what I'm saying? And so she's in the middle of fighting the bitch, and there's this huge net, of course, that comes down because of course, it comes down on her fucking dragon and her. So her dragon's stuck. Xaden's dragon and him are goddamn stuck, okay? And Xaden and her, they're connected because I left that whole part out. They're connected because their dragons are connected type of thing, right? So if one dies, the other's gonna die apparently. Well, anyways, Xaden's like, fuck this shit. So he has all of his shadows coming out, makes everything dark, so that way Violet can kill the fucking bitch. All right? Well, then Violet wakes up, okay? Violet wakes up, bam, she's got a ring on her finger. She's now married to Xaden. Xaden leaves a fucking note, and he's like, don't look for me, pretty much. And you own basically his whole empire, and that's how it ends. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a 4th book coming out, but Lord only knows when that's coming out. She does have a she does have a 4th book that's coming out, but it's not the 4th book in the series. And I think that's coming out in like September. Anyways, if you've read these, let me know what you think about it. So then we bring it on to book 2, where she now knows that her brother is alive, and she's like, what the fuck? Like, you're alive? Are you shitting me right now? And also, like, she's now learned that everything that she's ever been taught is just fucking bullshit, and that they're actually, like, they don't care about other fucking humans. And also, if you don't want me to ruin this book for you, then you probably shouldn't be listening to this video because I will ruin it for you. I'm just saying, I will literally tell you what happens in this damn book. So her and Xaden at this point, they're basically in love with each other, if you didn't know. But I mean, hello, who wouldn't be? And Dane over there is just like a goddamn, he set them up in the first place because he reads minds, and everybody's like, what the fuck? Of course, they find that out later. And then they're like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? So then they fucking tell everybody about what the hell is going on. So now it's split, and people fucking left. Like, half the people left this damn academy place, okay? And they're now on Xaden's fucking side because guess what? His mansion never burned the hell down. Okay, over in the land of where he lived, it never burned down, and he's working with her brother, and she just can't believe it. Well, then guess what? The Venom are now attacking, and they're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And in order to light this little fucking, I don't know, big ass crystal thing, we need all the damn powers, and we need a 7th dragon to light the fucking thing. And then they realize that her little dragon can now, that's the key to it because it's a rare rainbow damn dragon or whatever you call it. And then her mom dies because her mom is helping to like power this thing. And then it's like, okay, so her mom's dead. And then guess what? Xaden was now infected, and he is now a Venom. Here's the thing. I talked mad shit about this book. I did, without even reading it, because I just felt like it was so hyped up, and I was like, I'm not doing that like a brat. But then I read it, and I'm like, god damn it, 5 stars from me. So here's what happens. Violet over here, she's going to be a script. Now, she takes after her dad. Her dad's been teaching her. If you don't know what a script is, basically she knows like all the history. Well, I say history, but it's like what's written down, and they like write down what the events that happen, blah, 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 and they basically put it in a library. What you don't know is half the shit is just false. But whatever. Anyways, her dad dies and her brother dies, which her brother and her sister, they were both writers, and her mom's like the main person at the school thing for the writers, okay? And then her mom is like, nay, nay, Violet, you're now gonna go be a writer. And she's like, what the fuck, I'm not a writer. And so she makes her be a writer, but don't worry, her sister's basically a professional. Her sister's like, hey, here's this vest thing to wear that has dragon scales, so basically you're invincible kind of thing, and nothing's gonna hurt you. That's what I took from it, but we'll just leave it there. So anyway, so now she has to go up this basically mountain, I don't know, and then has to go across fucking basically the floor is lava game that we're playing, okay? So it's like this little thing that you have to go across, okay? Picture this is the thing right here, and then you're like, don't fall off, okay? That's basically what they have to do, but don't worry, her sister's like, don't talk to Xaden, stay out of everybody's way, lay low, but Xaden's already there, and she thinks that he's hot as fuck, okay? So as she's getting ready to go across this damn thing where people fall off literally and they die, she's like, you know what? There's this bitch that's in front of me and her tread on her Subarus is just trash. So let me just give her one of mine because I feel bad. Like, I'm sorry, but I ain't doing that because I'm already going to fall to my death probably. I don't need no help. Okay, I can do that myself. So she gives her one of her damn shoes. She makes it across. And wouldn't you fucking know that, okay, so like the dragons, they have to pick you. Like the dragons are like, you know what? I think that you'll be a good candidate. Guess what? They can fucking throw their fire right out of the breath. And then they could just kill you if they don't like you. Like, don't step out of line. But don't worry, she gets 2 dragons. Because of course she gets 2 dragons. Why would she only get 1? She'd be the only one to ever have 2 dragons. And then she gets the rarest of the dragons too. But don't worry, they make a fucking Xaden's like, oh, I'm just going to help you out and train you. So then she, of course, gets trained in all this other shit and she's poisoning people left and right. But also, don't worry because he makes her a fucking saddle for the damn dragon so she can ride the dragon. Okay, so here's the thing. Then they get talked into like going to this other fucking place and fucking Dane over there, who's her childhood best friend, he's like a little tattletale snitch bitch if you ask me and pisses me the hell off. But anyways, they go to another damn little mission thing for their school, but they get set up because there's goddamn Venom there and she'd been reading this damn fairy tale and they all say that Venom aren't real and it's all fake, but Venom are real and Venom are going to kill them. But don't worry, they survive that. She also gets stabbed with the Venom's goddamn, I don't know, knife that has poison on it. And then guess what? She wakes up and realizes that her brother is alive in this damn book. Like, what the fuck? Okay, this is book 2. This is book 2. When I tell you guys, it's another long one, and yes, I had to buy it. Snaring Emberly, oh my god. So Roman, one of the brothers, okay, he was the one that was set up for murder, but he didn't do it, and then he got exonerated, okay? So he's now going after Emberly because Emberly, she is a daughter that they didn't know that existed to Homeboy that ruined his whole family and took over the assets. So he's like going to schmooze his way into Emberly because he needs her to sign over all of the assets. The casino that they stole, I don't know, they stole a bunch of shit. Okay, so he gets with her and he's like, he has all these contracts made up, but she has no idea that she's even inheriting billions of dollars. Like, she has no idea whatsoever. And oh my god, when I tell you, I couldn't put this book down either. And it's long. Hear me out. It's long. I know. Stick with me. I need you guys to read this book. And if you've already read it, I need you to comment down below and tell me if you're as obsessed as I am in this series, what you think about it. And if you haven't read it, I need you to read it. Thank you very much. Okay, book 3, Breaking Rosland. Okay, she is a trained assassin. And her mom married this guy, who's in the mafia too, by the way. Married this guy who did some shit to her to cause her to be pregnant. So she has a daughter, and what she did was she went to train to be an assassin. She's in this program, but she's in like hella debt and can't get out of the debt. So she's stuck in this program basically forever because there's like no way out. Because she went and saved her little sister, which was really her daughter, and, you know, used their resources, and she don't care because she kind of went rogue. But like, that was the whole point of her joining. So anyways, so she saves her daughter. Well, of course, you know, she has ties with all this mafia nonsense. And so one of the brothers, of course, hooks up with her because they have a plan on what they're going to do. And also her dad had survived. So like or her stepdad had survived. So she had killed her mom and she blew up her dad, but he ended up surviving. Well, her stepdad. And he ended up surviving it. So, of course, one of the brothers gets with her because they have their own revenge on him for taking over the assets. As I said in my last videos for these, I need you guys to read it and let me know because I need friends that love this series as much as I do. Okay, thank you. When I tell you Taming Seraphine, oh my God, it was... Listen, I had to buy the physical form, okay? You guys know that I read a majority of my books on a Kindle, and I'm like, Spirit, don't do it. Spirit, don't do it. But guess what? I did it. I had to buy the physical form. Okay, Taming Seraphine. So she is a trained assassin by her father, okay? But really, he's not her father because he found out that his wife had cheated on him. And so he held her captive, turned her into a trained assassin. It was like, hey, you have to do all this shit because you have to pay the debt of your mother. And so she does all of this shit, obviously against her will. And her two brothers, which are really like, I guess they would be her stepbrothers, half brothers. They torture her. She's got a chip put in behind her ear, like to track her, all these things. Well, homeboy over here, he's like, he goes because he's wanting to kill her father, because, hello, mafia, duh. Wanting to kill her father because he framed him for murder, and also her father took over like billions of dollars worth of assets. So he goes and he's blowing up the joint, right? Well, he finds her in the damn basement and he's like, what the fuck? So he saves her, and I just don't want to ruin the whole book for you guys. Okay, here's the thing. It is a super long book, okay? Super long book, but I need you guys to read this book, and I need you to come back here, and I need you to comment and tell me what you thought about this book. How about that? Because I don't want to ruin the whole thing for you. It's so good! To Cage a Wild Bird was kind of fucked up. So there's this, where they live, okay? It's got sections of like poverty, and then you've got like the higher class. And essentially, like, they designed it to where like they're all basically starving, okay? Over in this other section, they're all starving. So if you do something like steal or whatever, like if you break their laws, then you get sent to this prison. And the prison is designed, you ain't getting out of there, okay? Your only way out is you're literally gonna die, because the rich people, what they do is they pay to pick one of you in your cell, and they hunt you. They hunt you on the grounds, and you don't have anything to protect yourself, okay? You have to try to make it to this tree, which is kind of like your safe thing. And they've got like wristbands on that like tracks them and all that. Like, the shit is fucking bizarre. And honestly, I would never make it, okay? I would never make it. And if you survive, then you get like higher levels and people pay more money and more money. And so this girl, I guess I could get to the point, Spirit, hello. So this girl, her parents were sent there and obviously killed. And so she raised her younger brother. Well, her younger brother got sent there, and she's like, oh, fuck no. And so she purposely gets sent there so they can find a way to escape. The only thing is that like kind of pissed me off about this book is how it ended, because they escaped and then what? Like, they didn't, like, the book didn't even end to like where they were going. So I don't know if there's supposed to be a second book or what, but like, can we get a second book? Because I liked this book. I was just mad about the ending. That's why I gave it a low review. Anyways, if you read this book, let me know what you think about it. Okay, thank you. Okay, The Devil Wears Black. A lot of people like this book. And for me, it just wasn't giving enough, like, I don't know, like oomph to it. Typical, bazillionaire. And the whole story is basically based on, he just kind of like, he played women. Well, not really played, but he just like dated women, but like didn't really give a shit. And he had dated this one girl. And then they broke up. She thought that he was cheating on her. And so they broke up. And then he comes to her with a proposal. And he was like, hey, I need you to be my fiance, because his dad got sick with cancer. And it was like his dad's like, I don't know, dying wishes for him to get married. But then he realizes like he was in love with her. They figure out like he actually didn't cheat on her. And so she agrees to pretend like she's his fiance, but long story short, they end up living happily ever after. If I was to rate this book, I don't know, like 2.5 stars. That's kind of how I feel about it. I feel it was just like whatever. I mean, she made wedding dresses, blah, blah, blah. She obviously made her wedding dress, and they lived happily ever after. So, I don't know, that's kind of how I feel about this one. Let me know. If you read this one, let me know what you thought about it.